of all, madam, thank you for giving us an opportunity to discuss these issues, certain issues about the COVID-19. We are from the Bengali Navi Mumbai Bengali Association. I am the president of the Navi Mumbai Bengali Association. Our association is having around 3,000 members. We are doing a lot of charitable activities other than some religious parties there, like Durga Puja, Kali Puja. In our association, there is a building where 8 to 10 rooms are there, which we are providing to the cancer patients, needy cancer patients at free of cost. Those who are coming to Bombay for their treatment, because cancer is a disease, a lot of expenses is required for treatment. So we thought we will give some kind of relief to the patients, because in Mumbai the stay cost is very high. In addition to that, we are giving the food, free food to them. We have a canteen facility. We are doing lot of charitable activities like street children and economically challenged those who are. We are giving the tuition coaching.
That's nice.
And youth development, it's like a youth development program. We are developing, they are unable to afford the education cost, so we are supporting through the books and the fees and a lot of things. We have an ambulance, our association. For our members it's free service, and for others it's a very negligible prices. And other than that, we are giving some scholarship to the student, those who are doing in the respective field, science, commerce, technology and all this. So every year we are providing scholarship, certificate along with some monetary benefits. In addition to that, every month we at least 600 to 700 needy people have prasad foods, free foods in the day of Amavasya. In Durga Puja also, we give prasad to 20 to 25,000 people. Other than that, many times we arrange the doctor consultation for our members' benefit, like awareness program for cancer, breast cancer, and the gyno-related problem or old age diabetes problem and all these things. We have a tie-up. You are one of our associate partners. So you have given a lot of discounts to our patients. They are availing that benefits and they are happy. So we are trying to increase these facilities, because we are mainly for community services. So during this lockdown, basically everybody is scared. So we thought, why we are not giving some doubts, which is doubts in the minds of our members or any other people. So we should clear them. So everybody is in panic situation as of now. What to do? Because there are a lot of WhatsApp messages are flowing. People do not know exactly what to, which message is fake message, which message is correct message. So what to follow, what not to follow. So this initiative taken our secretary and the joint secretary to meet with you, and thank you. I thank you to Apollo management also for giving us an opportunity to clear our doubts.
So I should start by thank you for asking Apollo and our team to be part of this discussion. You're doing a very great job, I believe. A lot of social interaction also. So the risk of COVID is always going to be there. So anyways, we can just start.
So people are basically in this, different countries are taking different steps. So in our country, our population is very high. So in the developed countries, there are very little people, and they have more space, so they can maintain the social distance and all these things. But how do we restrict the content to spread these diseases?
The whole idea to understand is how to restrict is through understanding how the virus spreads. I think it's important to understand that the mode of spread of the virus is through fomites, through contact, and through droplets. So when a person is coughing or sneezing, the particles from his secretions are going to fly at a particular distance. So somebody within a radius of 2 meters around is going to be at risk of getting that particle and inhale those and then probably get inside. Okay, that's one thing.
Okay.
And second thing is, supposing somebody is having a runny nose or a sore throat and they are already secreting the virus through their mouth or nose. If the person touches his face or nose and then that hand which is contaminated touches the surface which is shared by everybody, let's say it's a phone, it's a handset or it's a landline or it's a desktop or something or a doorknob.
Right.
Somebody person who's not infected and touches that and he he touches that surface and then probably accidentally touches his nose or mouth or face. Okay, the virus can enter through these three openings, the nose. Okay. So we need to understand that it's practically impossible to be careful totally altogether. But if we are maintaining a safe distance when we are moving in a crowd, the lockdown is going to be lifted, people have started already going to the work, the restrictions have come down quite a bit. So when people are going to go into the society outside, in fact their homes, and they go to workplaces, they have to maintain the social distancing always. And we will obviously be wearing masks everywhere now. If somebody in the family is unwell or having symptoms, and if the COVID test is awaited, or if the patient has mild symptoms or COVID is positive but doesn't need hospitalization as per the doctor's discretion, in that case, that person has to be kept in a separate room. The dishes and clothes and everything has to be cleaned in a separate way. The person himself who's suffering or herself suffering should be wearing a mask. And the person who's a caretaker should be wearing mask and gloves whenever they enter that person's room because the contamination is there. So the only way to prevent further spread is maintaining hygiene, washing your hands every time you come in contact with a particular surface which is possibly contaminated. Wash your hands with soap and water thoroughly, or if it's not possible because you may not have a water source, so then sanitizer is the next best thing. That, and plus avoid touching your nose and mouth and face unnecessarily because that's how the virus is going to enter your system. And of course maintaining your etiquettes. Somebody sneezing and coughing, now to avoid this you are wearing a mask, but again hand washing as frequently and as long as you can is a good way to be careful.
Now, what are the basic mistakes people do? Basic mistake people do, which leads to further community spread.
Yeah. So actually, the way the virus spread is through fomites. So supposing we are not being careful enough about hand washing, people do not recall that they have come in contact with somebody. Okay, you travel out of the house, you've gone for some grocery shopping or whatever, and then there's exchange of hands, like the money is exchanged hands or the card, the debit card or whatever swipe, and then you put it back in your pocket, but you've forgotten to use a hand sanitizer or wash. We don't know, potentially it's always possible, right?
Right.
Again, if it is just sitting in a vicinity like we are talking here, if we are spending more than 15-20 minutes in the vicinity of a person who is having cough, cold and fever and possibly COVID, in that case, the person is coughing and sneezing, then that is going to be there. So, not wearing mask at the right time, not using hand sanitization as a technique regularly or being careful about it. So, this is something we do consciously till it becomes a part of our habit. So, for it to become a habit, it's going to take some time. But hand washing regularly, not maintaining the distancing, not using a mask at all places where you are. So, at home, we don't have to if everybody is healthy. But out of the house, it would be always wise to wear a mask.
Right.
Okay. And again, people do this, we don't realize, now because of the mask, I'm not touching my face, but whenever we're talking to patients subconsciously, we're dealing with people and we tend to scratch our head, touch our face, sit like this. So these touching our face unnecessary is something we do it many times in a day, we don't even realize. Now, when you are wearing gloves and you're wearing mask, obviously you don't want to touch your face. Right. So these subconscious actions will take time to go away, but then that is one of the ways it spreads.
Okay.
And of course, one thing I've noticed is people tend to hide symptoms. That's one mistake people do. I mean, somebody's in the house is not well, halka bukhar hai, it's okay. So, trying to downplay things. If it had been some other year, if it had been 2018, 2019, and if you had cough, cold, fever, I'm sure all of us do that. Try at home for 2-3 days, try taking crocin and some anti-allergic steam and all that. But in this situation right now, trying to play doctor yourself, even we sometimes don't do the test in everybody, even we wait. But trying to downplay symptoms or trying to ignore symptoms, not seeking help at the right time, could become costly. Because the person who having symptoms may be healthy, may not suffer, but somebody who's vulnerable, like some elderly gentleman at home or a lady at home or their parents, somebody who's a cancer patient at home or somebody who's a diabetic, every family has one now. But diabetics are prone to. So, you may not suffer if you are healthy, but then you may pass it on to somebody who may not really, they may have a very difficult time. So, getting medical advice and help at the right time, not suppressing your symptoms and trying to treat yourself in this situation. Maintaining hand hygiene is something people should be doing.
And there is a lot of myth. Somebody was a few days in the initial stage. I heard one doctor from AIMS said this virus cannot alive at 23 degrees. But all this myth has gone. So, is there any link with the climates?
No, if it had been the case, we have seen May and we've seen the peak of the virus in May. Remember, 15th, 17th, 18th May, the numbers shot up like anything. Of course, now they're going to still climb when the lockdown comes out. People are going to not really be able to follow all the rules. So the virus will spread. The point is that temperature doesn't seem to have any influence on the virus. India is a very hot country, especially in May. Mumbai, you've seen how humid it was. Still the cases went up, so there's no logic about it. Maybe if you're having, like, let's say the clothes are contaminated or your some things are contaminated which you need to wash, trying to use hot water may help.
Right.
Yeah, but of course you need the soaps and all that. So nothing to do with the atmosphere around us or the climate.
In the again, I am telling this in WhatsApp. Lot of messages are coming. You have to boost up your immunity through hot water or some Ayurvedic kada or something like this. How does it help?
Actually, the same virus could infect 3 people and 3 people could have 3 different outcomes. You know, somebody may sit at home and be fine and not even have major symptoms. Somebody may end up in the consultation, may need hospitalization for a short period, and somebody may end up in the ventilator, on the ventilator. So this is the same virus and 3 people are having 3 different outcomes or their complications. There is one factor to all this is the immunity of the person. So somebody who's healthy, not having any sickness, the risk of that person getting major problems will be less. Somebody whose immunity is low, because that's how your body tends to fight external infections.
Right.
So whenever you get a common cold, right? So common cold symptoms, most of the times without even seeing a medical help or taking any medicines, people tend to get better. Anyway, in viral infections, you don't need antibiotics. So supplements and the rest. So if your immunity is good, your power to fight back the virus with antibodies inside the body is good. So immunity is always going to help, and people with good immunity are always going to have a better fight with the virus. So immunity boosting is something 100% makes sense. But how is one question. I am not an Ayurveda based practitioner,
Right.
so I do not know whether it works. But I do understand that somebody who's taking good, healthy, protein based diet, nutritious food,
Right.
not eating leftovers too much, having a good sleep,
Right.
and most important is how stressful you are. If you're too stressed out, then all that effort that you've taken about maintaining your health and nutrition and hygiene will probably not really give you that much result. So I will not be able to comment on the Ayurvedic kadhas, but getting good food and good sleep and maintaining your mental peace is important.
Now, one more thing, this because in this rainy season normally we suffer from flu every time.
Right.
But it is now this time basically it is very difficult to identify whether it's a COVID related or because when in other time we normally go to the doctors, those small doctors
Clinics.
are private doctors are there. But in this COVID situation, private doctors are also not practicing and all these things. So what do you suggest? If anybody is having symptoms like a normal flu, so still they will do the COVID test or
So there are many viruses which cause flu-like symptoms or cough cold or common cold. It's just that the intensity of each is different. Even in common cold, we may sometimes get mild fever, but we usually have a runny nose and a stuffy nose and headaches. In your sore throat infections, because of viral or bacterial infections, you may have pain in the throat, you may have sometimes irritation in the nose, headache, fever, body pain. In influenza, you will have fever, headache, body pain, sore throat, runny nose. So if you see all these symptoms and they're in just up plus minus intensity and frequency, and doesn't have to follow the rule book. Some people of COVID symptoms have come to us with just plain fever. The cough never came till day 5, day 7.
right.
We did a test because the patient looked like he would suffer if he had COVID, and the test came positive. So the point is that the doctor also will not be able to 100% confidently say that this is not a COVID case and do not do the test. So anybody with symptoms of fever, cough, cold, headache, body pain, chills, these are the defining symptoms.
Right.
Only the frequency intensity is different. So anybody with these symptoms will have to undergo COVID testing if the doctor feels.
Recently, I was searching through net
Hmm.
2 days back. There's another symptoms in UK. There's diarrhea also.
Yes, yes. Even we are seeing in our
we
patients.
have not seen in the this.
No, we are seeing it
everybody's
here.
yeah. Is it correct?
Yeah, we are seeing in diarrhea also.
Okay.
So even actually, if you look at it, influenza cases also we see sometimes pain in the stomach and diarrhea.
Okay.
So this is again part of the viral infection.
Okay. So you do not know what kind of system exactly
Yes,
fits
yes,
this
yes,
category.
yes. It's a virus which affects practically every organ of
Okay.
the body. Yes.
And sometimes there is a maybe myth that people said if you take the malaria medicine, then you are safe and all these things. So how do you suggest?
It is not a myth and it is not logical also.
Hmm.
There is a drug called hydroxychloroquine, okay, which is a derivative of chloroquine,
Hmm.
which is used in malaria treatment.
Hmm.
Okay, but saying that doesn't mean you should be taking it.
Okay.
Hydroxychloroquine, even though it has been used in patients of arthritis, etc., for their reasons, some patients it can cause trouble.
Hmm.
So if you have evidence of COVID in the form of a positive test, the doctor will decide what dose you need to be given to you, the person who's infected. And of course, there is some monitoring required because it can cause some changes in the cardiogram, the ECG. And it can cause fatal arrhythmias in some patients who are purely unlucky, who have some issues in their heart primarily.
Right.
So heart patient cannot take this.
Okay.
Okay, plus there is a value variation in the ECG. That is
Okay.
something is beyond technical. I will not discuss technical stuff here. So that variation can happen in people who are otherwise healthy.
Okay.
And if they are exposed to the drug, that variation can get worse and can be life-threatening.
Hmm.
So I do not suggest, or I will not. In fact, I will strongly recommend against taking such drugs on your own. It should be given by medical prescription, not
Right,
over the
right.
counter.
Right.
And it is to be taken. We give it for healthcare personnel, doctors, nurses, the cleaning staff who are dealing with patients on a regular basis.
Okay. That means people should not
The
take
general
abruptly.
public, please
Yes.
do not even try it. Yes.
Okay, okay. We have a senior members, at least in our association, 30% members are seniors. So, what is your suggestion to that senior members? Sometimes their kids are not with them. They have to go out
Yes.
for daily purchase and something. In this lockdown, those senior citizens who are alone living in the society, but they are our member, we have provided the services till last week. So what is your requirement? You send us the list and we will provide this.
Right.
But we cannot continue this for a long time.
Right.
So they have to go out and they have to purchase the goods and their daily needs and everything. So what kind of precautions they will take?
Looking at what is happening right now, we are expecting COVID to continue for some time. So precautions will have to remain. So hand hygiene, wearing masks will be there. Supposing you need your daily essentials or medicines, I think the commonest, the logical thing to do is ask the person who's doing home delivery to get it at the
Right.
main gate. I'm sure every society or every association will have a security guard who's looking after the
Right.
entry and exit of people around here. So maybe arranging for home delivery of essentials, okay, minimizing interaction with the outside world. And security guard distributes the stuff of each family member to them. He should be wearing mask and gloves. And again, avoid cash transactions wherever you can. Use your UPIs, Unified Payment Interfaces, or you could use any of the apps or whatever. And try to avoid cash and handling anything. Whatever stuff comes in, if it's properly packed, make sure after you open the packet, wash your hands before you touch anything inside.
Okay.
And that's one thing, yeah. Before that, since it's a senior association, senior citizens association, your social life is friends.
Right.
Everybody of them wants to meet for the evening walks and for their
Right.
laughter clubs and their yoga sessions and daily evening discussions. I will suggest please do not venture
Go
out unnecessarily. In fact, whatever exercise you want to do it in your rooms or in your verandas, whatever is feasible. Okay, because most vulnerable population is senior citizens right now. So
Okay.
even though lockdown is the restrictions have come down, it is still remaining in place for children below 10 and people above 16. So
Okay.
they should still follow the rules of lockdown.
Okay. Children below 10 years as well
Also
as senior
preferably,
citizens.
yes, and the adults above 16, yes.
And we have also the cancer patients in our association.
Yeah.
So how they will take the precautions, because they have to go out for their treatment or cancer treatment, chemotherapy and all these things during that time because their body is very weak.
Right.
So what are your suggestions?
Cancer, so patients, even this applies for diabetes, what I'm talking. So make sure that you're taking your medicine on a regular basis, okay? Your supplements of B complex zinc, what your doctors prescribe, do not miss on those. We do prescribe vaccines for people of diabetes and cancers, so that they don't get this lung infections or the unusual infections. So if your doctor has given you some recommendation about a vaccine, please make sure you take it on schedule and don't miss that. Okay. Maintaining hand hygiene while going out, wearing mask and gloves at all times. After you come back from whatever place you have and you followed all precautions, it's best to make sure that all the clothes that you're wearing are properly cleaned. Soak them in soap and water and then wash them. They should maintain their floor and their house cleaning with either using bleach or phenyl or something of that sort. So at least once they enter, and supposing even if they have come in contact with something and they have maintained the hand hygiene, the risk of that virus lingering in that area and then they getting infected themselves because of touching that surface again becomes low. So those people who are especially going out and coming back, make sure your doorknobs and everything, which are the entry and exit points, they should be cleaned thoroughly after you exit your entry in the house.
Okay.
That is one thing which makes sense. And otherwise also avoid all this, what I told in the beginning, touching of face and nose and mouth. And again, there is something called as video consultation, which is very much now the right thing to do and most logical and most safest thing to do. Even Apollo runs a 24/7 app for video consultations. Of course, that's not for cancer patients. Of course, they have their own doctors on board, oncologists. So if you don't need to see the doctor in person physically for whatever your problems are, if it can be done on video consult or phone, opt for that.
Okay.
If you need to go for your chemotherapy, I don't think there's a choice there. Yes, then you have to go and take that risk. But I think if we are careful enough, we can be able to play it safe.
Okay. As of now, in Maharashtra, you can in all India you can say more than 2 lakh cases are there.
Yes.
But other than positive cases, there are a lot of asymptoms. So there is a chances of high risk to community spread and so on. How do you identify the asymptom cases as a normal public? Is there
That's a
any-
difficult one to answer. So, supposing a patient in a particular family comes positive, then obviously the best thing to do, what the authorities do is contact us. Supposing a person X had gone to a particular store and he had come in contact with 10 other people before he started showing symptoms. So, the person is asked to recall whoever he has met. That's how they trace either the source or people who are at risk. So, people who are at risk, supposing he is met with 2-3 other people, or he's having a family of 4, wife and kids, and then that person is infected, the close contacts will be tested. But that is, once you have somebody who's positive or symptomatic. People who are asymptomatic are going to be really difficult to test. We do not really go for asymptomatic testing unless there is a high risk population. So supposing it's a cancer patient in the house and somebody got even mild symptoms and that fellow comes to us for consultation, we may want to do his testing because he is going to put the others at risk. But there is no formula for testing or who you decide. It is again the discretion. And if it's asymptomatic, then how else? He won't even see the doctor. There's no way of testing. And maybe some countries, like I think China has tried to do mass screening. Okay. So that I don't think that concept is going to be applied in India. We have so much already cases or people who are symptomatic. Mass screening may not be right also. It may cause unnecessary stress also. Again, I am not authorized to talk on this, but we don't really do asymptomatic testing to be short.
Lockdown is already started withdrawing and all these things some places. Now we have to go to office and join physically. So what precautions we will take when we touch the documents and all these things, because every time we prefer to, in our profession particularly, I am a chartered accountant, so when we go for audit, so we have to check a lot of documents physically.
Right.
So what kind of precautions you are suggesting?
So one logic what I think most offices and companies are following is splitting the time of the staff arrival. So if a company has let's say 60 staff, they could do it in 2-3 shifts so that the number of people at any given point of time is less, right?
Yeah.
The population density is reduced. Maintain the social distancing norms. If there are cubicles, whatever the chairs and desks should be placed further away. That's one thing. Second thing is keeping sanitizers at critical points. आपका जहाँ पे स्वाइप है वहाँ पे सैनिटाइजर होना ही चाहिए. स्वाइप इन की जगह स्कैनर होगा तो और भी अच्छा है because nobody is touching. right? So all these things have to
But
be.
we should also wear gloves and all this.
No, that is very difficult. If you are too much handling too much of paperwork and other things,
Yeah,
then maybe it makes sense to wear gloves and be careful.
yeah.
But अगर आप वही gloves से फिर face को हाथ लगाओगे, then all that effort
there's no
is
meaning.
no use,
Yeah.
right? So then wearing a mask is essential.
Hmm.
And if people are having classes, keep them at all times, so at least you're not ending up touching or this thing. HR should make rules about people who are having even mild symptoms to report to the office.
Okay.
Even people who are at home, supposing that will make sense, you know. If you got any family member at home who's having symptoms, also should be reported to the HR for the safety of the company and others also.
Okay.
Right? He could be again carrying the virus and spreading it to others, he or she. So then I think that strategies have to be kept in place. Those who can work from home should be encouraged to do that, at least till this situation cools down.
Again, then sometimes we are wearing masks, but sometimes somebody says if you wear mask for say 10 so long time for 8 hours or 10 hours, there may be a problem for breathing and oxygens and all these things. So this leads
Right.
another problem other than virus.
Yes, people do feel suffocated. So now the thing is about what kind of mask you're wearing, it depends on that.
Yeah.
So we are dealing with patients, so we use N95 mask. We want to minimize the chance of getting the bug through this. For people who are in the office environment which is not patient related or not medical care, simple surgical masks or even your cloth masks, if they are cloth masks may be difficult, people may not be able to maintain their hygiene. So simple surgical masks that most of us, like this gentleman is wearing, even they could be used.
Okay.
And they are not that snugly fitting, so you may not really feel suffocated. Only thing is if they become wet because of whatever your inhalation, exhalations or whatever the saliva, in that case they have to be discarded properly. That's all.
So what is your suggestion for pregnant women and children? Basically below 10 years, you just told, especially pregnant women, the ladies, those who have a gynae problem and all these things, they have to take extra precautions or something?
Actually, I'm not aware of the data on COVID in pregnancy, if there's any extra problems, but usually pregnant women are more vulnerable compared to normal population. Like if you see those cases coming in swine flu, they have more risk of complications. So I'm assuming even COVID cases must be suffering more. So again, if they could minimize their venturing out, if they are working from home or working from a distance, and same precautions with more care and more scrupulous hand hygiene is something they should be following, and be in touch with the gynec at regular intervals, because if they are going to end up with a delivery early or something, then those preparations well in advance need to be taken. Okay, no special precautions. They should follow their protein intake and the diet intake regularly, because again the immunity, see they are because they are pregnant, their risk of the child also suffering because of the mother being infected is high.
Yes.
So in their case, their precautions about taking their nutritious diet regularly, their vaccines or whatever they have been doing, whether after to take it regularly is something they should follow. Even flu vaccines are given by the gynacs for these, so they should be followed. For children below 10 years, it's difficult to make them stay indoors, but again.
But sometimes our children says we are locked in the flat since last 2 months. We want to go downstairs for cycling at least for 20 minutes.
If they are cycling on their own and they are not getting mixing with other children, I don't think it's a problem.
It's not a problem.
Yes.
They are wearing mask. And
now, if they're going to play football and they're going to handle,
No,
then
definitely.
exactly. So
Yeah.
contact sports, not in direct contact, but contact sports where you're going to exchange balls and bats and all that is not a good idea. But cycling on their own, I think it's okay.
And they are going by staircase. They are not using also lift.
Yeah, so I
that
think
can
that
be
is
done.
okay. Yes, that can be okay. The problem is children will not remember to keep their hand hygiene every single time. And the way we are, as adults don't remember that we're touching our face, they will also do it. So if they're on their own and they're playing, I think we should allow them. We cannot let children, but they should be careful. That's why
Parents should go.
you should encourage them to do
Yes.
something indoor. They could do hopping, skipping in the house also.
Okay.
It's not really that interesting for the kids, but
Yeah.
cycling is always good. Yeah, cycling is the best thing to do.
And then normally Bengalis are fish lovers, and then we take lot of times non-vegetarian foods also. Is there any risk or to taking this or any benefits as far as medical terms is
You don't have
concerned?
to change your diet for anything. I mean, what you've been consuming for generations won't do you any harm. If you're cooking it well, in fact, fish are good source of omega-3. So
Okay.
that's not a problem. You can continue consuming it. Only thing is how it is handled before cooking is important. Otherwise, there is no problem.
And you said already many members are having ailment like diabetes, heart diseases. They have to take extra precautions because this time we already have discussed. So these are the questions we have doubt, and if anything, then we can consult you over phone or something like. Thank you for your giving us a time and your valued suggestion. And this will be circulated among our members, and definitely they will follow what you said. They will try to follow. So because life is their own, so everybody wants their safety first.
Right.
So it's really thank you to you and your management also. So giving us an opportunity to serve our community, and always you are stand behind us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.